Oh, baby, I love the way. Anyway. Okay, so I feel like there's nothing wrong with wanting to be perfect unless you're willing to fail. I feel like when it comes to self improvement and things like fitness goals or personal goals, a lot of us feel like if we don't become this perfect versions of ourselves, then we failed. When the truth is, you haven't. The truth is, every step you take towards becoming a better version of yourself is progress, and that needs to be celebrated. To me, it's all about the journey along the way and celebrating life's small wins. And I feel like that's why we're in this human body, to appreciate the journey along the way, not necessarily the destination, because then the game wouldn't be fun to play. And life is like a video game. We're all living on what's called the hedonic treadmill. So it doesn't matter how many things you achieve, how many houses you buy, the perfect person you get, we all go back to a baseline level of happiness. So instead of being like, I'll be happy when I get the perfect person, I'll be happy when I get the perfect house, I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I know it's really corny to say, but happiness truly comes from within. It comes from personal contentment. The right person for you is never going to be your source of happiness. They're there to complement it. And if they are your source of happiness, that's a problem. So it'll never really be enough. I feel like in life, at some point, when if you're someone who's very successful and you've achieved a lot, sometimes the things aren't enough anymore. So, hold on, I gotta sit for this one. If you really sit here and think about it, think about how many things you've wanted for, you've asked for, you've prayed for, and now they're in your life and you never ever think about it. This is why gratitude journals are so important to like remind you. I mean, I don't even do it. Oh, look at me. I'm sorry. But no, just consciously affirming and being grateful for certain things. I don't feel like you need to be displaced or put in an uncomfortable position to feel gratitude. Things don't got to get bad for you to feel good about your life. So think about that for a second. I feel like we've all achieved so many things that we take for granted. There used to be a time where I would look at, this is what I would do. I would look at videos of supermodels, Giselle Bündchen, fashion TV. I was obsessed with fashion TV. And I would dream of having tiny arms. I would love looking at their bodies and hoping one day that I would look like them. And now I'm here, I never think about it. For me, I'd watch a lot of fashion TV videos at nighttime and I'd have the munchies, and it would be kind of my deterrent from overindulging and making myself sick because I get so ravenous. And in a way, I feel like I would use the inspo to fuel my own disdain for my body. And I know that does not sound healthy, but honestly, it led me here. Something clicked in me, and I said, you know what? I don't have to hate who I am right now to get to where I want to be. I feel like it's a pretty common misconception that people who are in the pursuit of beauty hate themselves and are so insecure. And a lot of people tell them, like, well, why don't you accept it? It's not that bad. People basically tell you to love things that you hate about yourself. My thing is, like, I don't gotta love it, but I don't gotta sit here and be mean to myself. It's not fair to me. I feel like the ultimate goal is to reach a place of self satisfaction to where you accept things as they are now, knowing that they're subject to change. I feel like for a lot of my aesthetic transformations and goals, I get it. I used to have extremely low self esteem. So it's like when you hate something, you hate it. But for like a big portion, like the first half, before I cultivated some self esteem, I would be so mean to myself. And I feel like that's not the way to go about it. I feel like if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I'd be like, calm down, bitch. Like, you're going to get to where you want to be. How about we relax and cultivate some self esteem so that we can navigate other aspects of our life a lot better, especially when you're dealing with so many facets of life and then you just don't like how you look. It can create a lot of mental turmoil. True change doesn't come from hating where you are. It comes from self-love. I'm sorry to be corny here, but it's so true. I get up every single night. Well, not every night, but I always try to put my retainers in or do those little things that I really don't want to do because I care about myself. I love myself. Happy people are beautiful. Happy people are more likely to take care of themselves better than someone who isn't. So it's pretty evident. If you love yourself, you're going to want better for yourself, and that's going to be the foundation to change. Okay, so I think it takes a very evolved mindset to completely hate where you are and still be able to transmute the situation. Because I feel like a lot of people out there, and you might even know people who just harp on and harp on about the things they don't like about their life, but they never change. It kind of becomes so annoying to where you just tune out. You're like, Here he goes again. Here she goes again, talking about the same thing, complaining about the same problem. For me, I used to really be so self loathing about a lot, but I used it to fuel me, to take me to the next level. I didn't sit around. I didn't sit around like a victim and felt sorry for myself. I didn't do that. So I feel like it takes a truly evolved mind to use self torture and mental turmoil and transmute that energy into something that is great. Most people can't do that. Most people just get super insecure and feel bad. It's kind of like when a girl sees a really beautiful girl and then she starts feeling like shit about herself and then sends that girl negative energy and all these things, when in reality, seeing someone who's beautiful should never make you feel bad about yourself. I feel like someone's success and beauty should never make you feel bad about yourself because you're in your own lane and you're on your own timeline. And in fact, I feel like that's the universe presenting you with an opportunity to be like, well, do I want the skinny arms or do I want to have the fat arms? So she has such beautiful, slender arms. I can't wait until my arms are like that. I wonder if she would tell me what she does for her arm workout. Or, oh my God, her arms are so skinny. My arms are so fat. I can't be seen next to her. How dare she? She must be or have an ED. You get a choice in your life on the daily. Yes, no. We live in a universe that there's no answers to no. So your attention is how you say yes to things. I want you to see it as the universe giving you a choice. You start seeing couples all the time, right? But you are single. You want to be in a relationship. You see that couple, what are you going to do? Are you going to be like, oh my God, he's love, like, why I had to be here? Or are you going to be like, oh, that's so cute. Must be nice one day. You get a choice. I feel like we all know someone with that kind of chaotic energy to where they're always telling you a story of how crazy their life is. And it's just like, God, do you ever get a break? And it's just story after story after story. It's like a lifetime drama. I feel like those people, I'm not going to say that chaos energy attracts chaos energy, because life is random. The wheel of fortune, you just never know. I feel like bad things happen to good people and you never know. There's no specific reason as to why, but I feel like when you're someone who is constantly attracting a lot of chaotic situations and people into your life, something about you, I'm so wary of these people because something about it tells me that you like chaos and you like drama. And I feel like I see this in common with a lot of fire signs. It's almost like they don't like when it's too quiet. It's almost like they like a little discourse going on. They like a little angst, they like to fight for fun. So I feel like there's certain people who thrive off that chaos energy. Something has to be going on. Some drama has to be involved. Like, you get it. It's really so simple. I feel like it's all about changing your mindset first so that the body shifts aligned. So, for example, skinny arms, right? I feel like it's something all of us girls covet. Wow. If you're focused on a part of your body that you dislike, but you're simultaneously not identifying what you would prefer, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So it's like, you want those skinny arms? Then what are we wearing when we get those skinny arms? What outfits are, what are we doing? Where are we going on vacation? Like, what poses are we doing? Are we like, are we hitting one of these, popping it out a little bit? Like, what are we doing when we get these skinny arms? This is what you need to be thinking about. You need to be planning your outfits. You need to be thinking about not having to wear a cardigan or the long sleeves or all black so you look skinnier. You want freedom of choice and freedom of mind. This is where your focus should be. Imagine the photos you're gonna get when you get those skinny arms. Do you see how exciting this feels? Get me excited too. I want some skinny arms. I'm just playing. Do you see how exciting that feels and how that energy feels in comparison to like, oh my God, I want skinny arms. My arms are so big and so fat. You're thinking about having to cover them with any outfit. You're going to the grocery store. It's hot as hell. It's summer. It's 90 degrees and you've got this cardigan on. You've got this long sleeve on. You're hiding. You're not very comfortable with your body. We're being real here. You're going to feel discomfort regardless, but it's all about how you choose to go about it with your mindset. It's like, yeah, bitch, your arms are fat, but it won't always be that way. So why are we still talking about it? Why are we not talking about the vacations? Why are we not talking about the photos? It's a completely different point of focus. I'm not telling you to love your fat arms here. I'm just telling you, hold on and wait a little longer. You can accept your arms being fat without hating yourself. What does that do? I can tell you it did nothing for me other than fuel me personally, but that not everyone is not like that. So why put yourself through the mental turmoil? Why are we being mean to ourselves here for something that's gonna change and we have the power to change it? I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to be so mean to myself. I think crying in the mirror, like ugly crying too. I used to be so mean to myself, but I really had a shift and I was just like, you know what? Even now, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going, bitch. I'm about to be prettier. Like, watch me. Even now, I'm not waiting on the things that I want to change about myself. And that's how it comes quicker to you. I can tell you with aesthetic goals, whatever aesthetic goal you're achieving, my aesthetic goals have come a lot quicker to me when I stop focusing on the discomfort it brings me, when I completely stop caring. And I feel like a lot of these books, what they'll tell you, I'll break it down for you. It's like ignore the gotta reality while simultaneously thinking about what you prefer so that shift, so you can quantum leap, so you can have that shift in your life. No, it's not so black and white because obviously you can't ignore certain things about reality, but it's all about positively pivoting your thoughts and expecting the best. Expecting the best. I feel like it's the same when it comes to any area of your life. Like you hate your car, every time you step in your car, it reminds you of how much you hate the car to where you cannot have any positive thoughts about it. And think about something else in your life that's going right so you're not harboring in negativity and resentment and hate. Like who wants to be in mental turmoil? I know I don't. There needs to be no problems living rent free in your head. Take that out right now. Okay, so when it comes to perfectionism, I am Miss Perfect herself. One thing that has really helped me a lot throughout the years dealing with perfectionism and not feeling like I'm enough or not feeling like anything is satisfying. And honestly, I'm so sorry to get spiritual here, but literally, I was consulting with my spirit guides one day and they were like, you know what, you need to get over perfectionism. And I was like, well, how do I get over perfectionism? And they were like, by adopting the belief that you're perfect because you exist. And when I tell you this changed my life, I became so much more kinder and compassionate to myself when it comes to my personal goals and just everything I want to accomplish in my life. I became so much nicer to yourself. Sorry, I became so much nicer to myself. And I feel like when you adopt the belief that you're perfect simply because you exist, it's almost like you can do no wrong. So maybe you didn't make it to the gym today. What I'll tell myself is I'm perfect simply because I exist. I'm doing my best, and my best is all I can do. Your new affirmation, write that down, write that down. It's something I tell myself constantly, especially when I'm working out and I didn't finish my whole workout. I'm like, you know what? You did your best and your best is enough. So even if you got to the gym today and you didn't do the full hour, at least you made it to the gym. That's progress that's worth being celebrated. If you ate healthy consistently in a row, that's progress worth celebrating. You shouldn't shoot yourself in the foot and think like, oh my God, I should be doing this. I should be doing these things. How about we give yourself a pat on the back and you be kinder to yourself? To me, the point of celebrating the small milestones is so that you're not in a state of mental turmoil, constantly working against yourself mentally, essentially. How are you going to function if you're constantly in a state of anxiety and depression? No judgment there, but and remember, one thing at a time, that's all you can do. Your life is in shambles. You have so many aspects and facets of your life that you have to cater to, and you're not a robot. You're not going to be this perfect robot who's going to get a 10 out of 10 on every aspect of your life. So one thing at a time, okay? One thing at a time, okay? And that's how you're going to get a breakthrough. You're doing the best you can, so just give yourself a pat on the back. So if you consider yourself to be a perfectionist or overachiever, you got to remember that you on a bad day is someone on the best day of your life, of their life. Me on a bad day, me on a bloated day, is someone on a snatch day. So you got to remember that the standards that you set for yourself are so much more higher than most people that it can feel like you're not doing enough. But when you really sit around and look around at how other people are maneuvering, you're doing better than probably a lot of people. And I know maybe you might not want to hear that because you're like, I don't care about these people, but it's true. You really have to sit here and commend yourself. You've done a lot of things that a lot of people can't do for themselves, and you should be proud of yourself. You're ahead of the curve. And I feel like comparison really is the thief of joy. I feel like if you're looking at how far along everyone else is, then you're not appreciating where you are and how far you've come. I don't know your personal situation watching this, but I can understand objectively that it was probably so difficult for you in ways that no one else would understand the depth of what you've had to go through. So, you don't have to achieve everything perfectly to be worthy. You are worthy and perfect because you exist. And I promise you, the more you adopt this belief and you say this to yourself, affirmations, baby, people are going to start saying it back to you. People are going to start to see you as perfect. Look at me, I told you I had extremely low self-esteem, and then like there are people who view me as perfect or so insightful, all these things. So I promise you, if you adopt this belief that you're simply perfect because you exist, you're doing the best you can, and all that is all you can do. I promise you, people will start saying that shit to you. I need you to remember that you're driving the boat here. It's all about the journey and not the destination. And honestly, if you're able to really go the journey, think about how powerful that makes you. You're able to do difficult things. Sorry, the video game of life would not be as satisfying if it's just like I wish I could snap my fingers and have what I wanted. But if you really think about it, if you could do that for everything, then the video game that we're all in right now would not be as fun, would it? So honestly, the fulfillment is in the journey in itself and appreciating that you can do hard things, you can do difficult things. You've got this. Give me a hug.